Thank you for being with us, Dr. Odenheimer. We have a couple of questions, but we're going to just let you speak from your heart and your mind about these things. Let me just toss one out and we'll get the discussion going. Could you please speak with us a little bit about how to help or hinder communication with individuals who have Alzheimer's disease or other dementias?
Yes. I think that some of the core things are the approach to the person and treating them as if they are still human beings. I think that you need to address them from the front. You don't need to surprise them. You need to not give them too much information at once. Allow them to take in what information you've given them and then move on. I think one of the big issues in facilities is that they're rushed. They're trying to get a lot done, and that carries over to their attempts to communicate efficiently and quickly. And in fact, what ends up happening is that the patient or the resident becomes more agitated and more resistive to care. And so what they think is being efficient turns out to be inefficient.
Right, that's very helpful. You are describing some mechanisms or some approaches that would address possible confusion in an individual who might not recognize who you are or what your intentions are. Does that sound right?
Sure. In fact, I mean, for the staff, that's particularly important, but even family, at some point, the person may not recognize them anymore. So what the person will usually continue to key in on, though, is how you connect with them. And so you can introduce yourself every time you see them because they may not remember. But beyond that, you have to realize that they're picking up on your emotions and your eye contact and your gentleness and your respect. And those are the things that allow you to communicate more effectively. So whether they know you or not, they may know that they like you or don't like you, and those will make a difference.
Now we have an opportunity to hear from the Frontline, providers who work in long-term care residential settings, and some caregivers who now visit their loved one who resides in long-term care settings.
This disease has taken away a lot of their personality that I will never really know them like their family knew them. And so I have to look beyond that, and I have to listen to the family. I have to listen to what they've told me about this person, who they are, who they were before this disease began changing their personality.
For our morning activity, music and movement, I have the chairs in a circle. We start with songs with a guitar, very cheerful good morning type of songs, and things that they remember, that they would know from growing up. Have lively discussions. We throw big beach balls around. We have games that they enjoy, beanbag and horseshoes. But all this is in a circle so that they see what's going on. Some of them can participate, some of them can only watch. Some of them are not moving, but the ball is placed on their lap, and then we help them roll it. So you just make adaptations for what they can do.
No matter how somebody has told them that they were sick and you were placed here because of your sickness, I don't want them to wake up thinking I'm sick. I want you to wake up that you're a human being and I love you just the way you are.
Body language is by far more important than the words we actually speak. The tone that we use and our body language is so important, and so it's the same with dementia residents. We have to make sure that we are addressing them and our body language is conveying the message that we're saying. But honestly, the best thing is going to be that applying it, is that hands-on care of learning that some things are going to work some of the times, nothing is ever going to work every time.
Well, they just need to be very patient and very caring, and if they feel so inclined, they need to be loving toward them, because they're kind of in a situation where they could get unhappy pretty quickly if somebody wasn't nice to them or yelled at them or told them, no, you can't do that, There are nicer ways to do that, to control I'll just give you an example. When I've been in the memory care unit seeing Emily and I'm ready to leave, many times she's reluctant to let me go without taking her with me. But if a staff member, a nurse, or an aide comes and puts their arms around her and hugs her and says, "No, Emily, you need to stay here," she's okay. She stays.
I hope when I say this it makes sense as far as a breakthrough moment, but when I first came on a memory care unit, and I think to most who are coming through or just visiting, it seems a little odd. You know, it's not the norm as we typically think is normal. And you go through and there are people asking questions and, you know, asking questions over and over again, and there may be some behaviors that don't seem typical for adults to be doing. And then one day that becomes your normal, and you understand how to communicate in their world. And their world is just as perfect and beautiful as the outside world. It's just different. And so I think that's the moment that one day I just came in and this was my normal and this was my home, and I felt like, you know, it was okay that these behaviors were different, but they were still okay.